Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Mrs. Smith 88. Today I am doing my March 2019 reads of the month, where I'm going to show you guys what I read and what I am currently working on and what I plan to read. So let's jump in and get started. I'm going to go ahead with the currently reading section on Goodreads. As you can see here, I have two books in my currently reading section. I'm going to go ahead and start with the Lisa Jewell Watching You book. It says that I'm 35% through with that book. I typically do not read two books at one time. What happened is I started reading this and I did not have enough time to finish it by the time that it was due back. I use an app called Libby. I had to think about it. I was going to call it Libby on my phone. So this auto-pulled while I was in the process of reading the three books that I finished this month. So I didn't have enough time to finish this book, so it's kind of sitting in my Goodreads because I was unable to renew this, so I'm waiting on it to come back to me. So I'm partially through this one, didn't get to finish it. I hope it comes back in my queue soon so I can finish reading it. I do have to say that I wasn't totally thrilled with it so far. Like, it's not a page turner for me. It takes a lot for a book to be a page turner for me. I did have some books that I did enjoy this month that I really, really liked, and we'll get into that in a moment. The current book that I'm reading right now that I should have finished for next month, the month of April, is Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage. So this is really highly reviewed as a good book and that kind of stuff. Once again, just not grabbing and grasping at my attention and that kind of stuff. It's kind of weird, kind of twisted, kind of demented. I'm just not grasping the concept behind this. There hasn't been no true thrill in it. There's like been some little bitty stuff that has happened, but nothing major. Like, I'm waiting for like the ball to drop in this book. I'm waiting for the bombshell. I'm waiting for something crazy to happen in this book. I want that super thriller suspense in this book. I am curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see how it plays out because I always make it a point to finish books. Like, I never give up on a book. I read it all the way through, even if I don't like it, which I do have a book that I read this month that I hated, and I will tell you why I hated it. So now we're going to go ahead and hop over to my books. And we are going to go to, let's see, I guess I'm a little turned around today. Okay, yeah. This has the books that I finished this month. So the first book that I finished this month is Finding Me, A Decade of Darkness, A Life Reclaimed, a memoir of the Cleveland kidnappings. This is the Michelle Knight story. This book hit home. I'm from Northeast Ohio. I remember when this hit the news like it was yesterday and that kind of stuff. The story was crazy when the girls were found. I mean, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, everything. So this book here was a page turner for me. This book I read really, really quickly because I was so excited to see how it played out. For being Michelle Knight's story, it was well written. I am very thankful that these girls have gotten to reclaim their life, gotten to rebuild their lives, gotten to move on from the situation, survived being kidnapped. It is a heart-wrenching story, but I am so thankful that these girls got their life back. The next book that I finished was Hope, a memoir of survival in Cleveland. Once again, it is about the Cleveland kidnappings. This is Amanda Berry and Gina DeJesus story. This story wasn't nearly as much of a page turner because I think that after reading the Michelle Knight one, I knew what to expect in the book. Had I read just one or the other, it would have been a true page turner. I'm not saying that it was a bad book, because it wasn't. I enjoyed reading this book. I think it was well written. I enjoyed seeing all the girls' perspectives, and like I said, I am really grateful that they made it out alive from this situation. So back to my books, and the third book I finished was Michelle Knight's second book that she wrote. And this was Life After Darkness, Finding Healing and Happiness After the Cleveland Kidnappings. And This is why I got behind on reading Lisa Joel Finding You. It took me forever to read this book. Had it caught my interest, I would have made it through it quickly. I thought that it would catch my interest as much as her first book, but all this was her rewording her first book, repeating her first book, and adding in just a few little dollops of new things, like her marriage, her move, a little bit about her afterlife, and that kind of stuff. Nothing too exciting. I feel, if I'm being blunt and blatant, no offense, Michelle Knight, I felt like you were hopping on the fame train and going choo choo after those money bags by writing the second book. Second book just had no appeal to it like the first book. And like I said, it was a total fame train thing for her. I think she was chasing the money. And you know what? She has a story. She has a storyline. She can chase after the money. She can do these speeches. She can do these books. I think she mentioned a possible Lifetime movie and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if that's her way of chasing after the money, so be it. But once you've heard the story once, you really don't need to hear it a second time. So, not too thrilled by that book. So, like I said, my goal this month is definitely to finish reading Baby Teeth. Definitely curious to see how that plays out. And then I recently added this one to my list, The Night Olivia Fell, and this is like sick and twisted and sounds good in its own way. So this one is, in the small hours of morning, Abby Knight is startled awake by the phone call. No mother ever wants to hear her teenage daughter Olivia has fallen off a bridge. Not only is Olivia brain dead, she's pregnant and must remain on life support to keep her baby alive. And then Abby sees angry bruises circling Olivia's wrist. So I think this book is going to be a page turner. I want to get my hands on this book. Really hope that I get to read this in the month of April. As well as my husband keeps telling me, Red Dragon. It came into my queue. It ended up going out of my queue. I didn't have enough time to read it. So I had to put that back on my list through Libby. So those are a few of the books that I hope to read in the month of April, as well as one of my subscribers reached out to me and gave me some super good suggestions. I need to go through and add her books that she suggested to my Goodreads account. That way, hopefully, I can look more into these books. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video for the month of March with my April reads. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them below. If you want, follow me on Goodreads. I'll leave a link below. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.